stopping by the channel. My name's Leah, and we're going to recap and review Growing Up Hip Hop. This is season 6. I don't know the episode. I think it's either 27 or no, I think it's 28. Either way, it was pretty, but it was still nice. It was still a nice episode. I would have been here sooner. But the way that crab boil had me set up on Friday, Saturday was a no-go. But let's get into this, y'all. So the episode opens up and we see TT is getting her makeup done. And she looks good. I will say the power of makeup is serious because the burn that was on her face, I did not think it was that noticeable when they showed it last episode. It just looked like a rash. But when they kept panning to her face while her makeup was getting done, it looked horrible. I was like, dang. Like, she really must have had, like, a severe allergic reaction. But while she's getting her makeup done, she gets a text message or, like, a note, like, in her, what's it called? Pep sent her a note. Like, she was typing up, like, her thoughts in a note instead of in her text, like, you know, because you can't see. And she sent it to TT. And TT was like, I don't really want to read this. It's my wedding day. I don't really want this type of energy on my wedding day. And I don't blame her. I feel like a lot of people feel like TT is dragging her reconciliation with Pep in Egypt, but I don't think so. I feel like you shouldn't allow people in your lives, like in your life, until you're ready. And the concept of like, oh, they're family, they should just get over it. No, people, your family are also people. So you can't hurt someone and then expect them to just accept you because you're family, or just readily accept your apology and take you back. And even if a person does accept your apology, that does not mean that like the slate is cleaned or y'all are restarting. That just means they accept what you did, and moving forward they won't hold that against you anymore. In some regards, some people hold grudges. But she saw the text and she really didn't read it. She gave the phone to her mom, and she was just like, I don't have time for this. So then we see Twist with his girlfriend. They seem to really like each other. I mean, I don't know what I expected of who Twist would want to be with. I don't keep up with him outside of the show, but the girl seems really sweet and they seem like they really vibe. So I'm happy for them. They were talking about, the girlfriend was saying how she was so excited to see the wedding and to meet Sean and TT and all of Twist's friends. And then we see Twist get in the pool. He was having too much fun. Like at first it was funny when he was running around, but then when I saw him get on the slide, I was like, it's cold outside. I wouldn't be doing none of that. Or maybe it's not. So then next thing you know, we go back to the hotel room where TT is getting ready for the wedding, and we see Tyran. And Tyran is basically like checking on TT because he found out that like Pep sent the sent the note. I guess she wasn't supposed to send the note. I think she was running it by everybody to see if like this sounded correctly, because I do that too. If I'm in a situation where I don't know like if this sounds right, I get my parents or my sister or even my friends. I'd be like, girl, y'all read this email. Does it sound correct? Like, am I making sense? So I think that's what she was doing. I think that's what Pep did with Tyran. But instead of just waiting for him to be like, okay, that sounds good, she just sent it. And TT read it. She said that she said it's actually beautiful, but she was like, I wish she would have sent this sooner, because maybe she would be here. But she was like, I'm tired of being, I guess it seems to me that like they've had issues, and maybe TT's been the one to always cop and apologize and just say, okay, I'm sorry, and they move on. Because in this scene when she was speaking to Tyran, she said that it's not like we haven't had issues where we haven't talked for like a year or a few months. But when she was saying it, it really felt like, okay, but I'm always the one to apologize. I'm always the one to say I'm sorry, and she never does it. So I think she's like, TT is like, yo, I'm sticking to my guns with this one. I'm not apologizing anymore. So she was just like, I wish she would have like I wish she just would have said something earlier because she could have been here, but it's like a little too late. And she was just like, but this definitely is an olive branch. I was like, okay, that's sweet. So then we hop over to Las Vegas and we see Egypt and Sam at Pep's house. Y'all, I did not know Las Vegas. I said Vegas. I did not know Las Vegas had really nice homes. Like when they were doing the I don't know what they call it when they just show like the landscape of like the state that they're in. I know there's like a name for it. Maybe it's like bean footage. I don't know. B-roll. I think it's B-roll. But the houses that they showed, I was like, oh, these are really nice houses. I have a skewed view of Las Vegas because I know there's other parts of Las Vegas that are very nice and very affluent, but I just think I just have a weird view of Las Vegas. But the homes that they showed were like, I was like, oh, these are really beautiful houses. And Pep has a nice house. So we see Egypt and Sam, like I guess in the studio that's in Pep's house, and they're on FaceTime, and they FaceTime with Tretch. And basically Tretch is just scolding them again, saying how you're black, just because you light skinned, it don't mean nothing. You put my daughter in a horrible situation. You put yourself in a horrible situation. And when we had that talk a few years ago, I told you that like, you keep my daughter safe if you really wanted my blessing to marry her. And that's when Sam had that eye patch. I forgot why he had that eye patch. I low-key feel like Sam will wear that eye patch just to wear an eye patch. I really do. I really do. So like I was saying, so Tretch and Sam, they're all like in Egypt, are having like a FaceTime conversation on the computer. And he basically was like, Tretch is like, you didn't keep your end of the bargain. Like, you promised to keep my daughter safe and all of this stuff as long as I gave you like my blessing, or once I gave you my blessing to marry her. And the funniest thing out this conversation is when it's weird. They have allowed Sam to like ooze into their family. Because you have Sam calling Tretch Pop, and no, like, I don't know, because my dad calls my parents call my dad calls my mom's mom and dad, and my mom calls my dad's parents mom and dad, but they've been together for like 20 plus years, so it's different, it's been long, it's longevity there. This I don't know, and it also feels like he does that in a way to like let us know that like, oh, the family likes me. Y'all don't like me, but the family likes me kind of energy. Because I was just like, why are you calling him Pop? I don't like it. I don't like it. But they married now. And it's just weird. I don't know. And it might not be weird. It might just be because I just feel some type of way about Sam. Because there's something about him that just doesn't seem... It seems chaotic and destructive. Like, case in point, in this scene, he was talking to Tretch about, like, going to see him do celebrity boxing. And Tretch was like, why are you vaping then? And I was kind of like, yeah, like, if you're supposed to be so about, like, boxing, and how he said in his confessional that boxing is, like, his escape, then why would you destroy your lungs with vaping? Like, we know how bad vaping is. Like, we know it's bad, but yet you're doing it, and it's like, if boxing was so serious to you, I don't think you would be going down this road of like because it's weird because he puts 20 on 10 about how serious he is about being an MMA fighter and about boxing, but yet you're doing something like this which is detrimental. So I was just like, I don't know. So then we switch back over to Florida, and the reception looks beautiful. Like, the reception hall that they're at, it looks really nice. Like, even though they said they rushed and put things together, it actually looks very nice. But all of a sudden, TT realizes she can't find her engagement ring. So, like, she's freaking out. Like, She can't remember where she placed it. She's also freaking out because they didn't put insurance on the ring, or Sean was going to put insurance on the ring just in hopes if she did lose it, but they were in the process of doing that. So she is like having an inner cry or an inner scream right now. Like, she's trying not to cry. She's trying to like calm down, but like all of her bridesmaids, and I don't know if the other, like the men want to be called that, but all of her friends who are in her wedding, like everyone is tearing up her tearing up all her stuff. Like they're going through the bed sheets. Like everyone is looking for, like, all hands on deck, and she's freaking out. She calls she calls the reception lady, like not the reception, but like I guess her wedding planner, and the lady is so like, girl. She on the phone with her. She's like, so I lost my ring. She's like, Tahira. Like, that lady was so like, oh my God, these people getting on my nerves. They probably done ran that lady through the ringer because she sounds so over it. So while TT is doing that, we then see Sean and his friends. They really are frat bros, because JoJo walks in the room and he was like, it smells like straight up alcohol in here. And you see them drinking, and it's early in the morning. So they just was like, we gonna continue the party until the wedding. So it's the time of the wedding. Like, everyone comes, everyone's sitting down. You know, we're ready for the wedding. Girl, next thing you know, it says an hour later. And I was like, it wouldn't be a black wedding or even a mixed wedding with black counterparts if people won't late. I don't think I've ever been to, I've only been to possibly three or four weddings. And they've all had like either been like a mixed relationship where one of the, well, like the groom or the bride was black, or it was an all black wedding. And it's never, they always run like 30 to 40 minutes late. That's why you put snacks in your purse. And gentlemen, if you're going with your friends, make sure you have your good girlfriends have snacks in their purses so you can eat. Because you just be like, why can't we start on time? I have never been to a wedding that has ever started on time. I just feel like it's not realistic. I just think it's just not. So everyone's waiting. You got Twist plug-in Marriage Boot Camp, because he's watching Marriage Boot Camp on his iPhone while they wait. And I said, okay, get your promo on. So then TT is still like freaking out. Her sister is calling, and what they find out is that she had on a robe, and when she went to like wash her face the night before when they were turning up, she took her rings off and she put them in the robe pocket. Then the cleaning ladies came and they took the robe, not knowing that like the rings were in the pocket. So she is wilding out, like wilding the complete out, but she's trying to hold it together. Her sister and them are calling. They're like, I was happy to see that people were helping her. Like, everybody was helping her. I said, those are real friends, because I was like, some people would have just watched you just be frantic. So while that's happening, we flip back over to Las Vegas. We see Sam fighting. I don't know what the sugar honey iced tea Egypt got on. It's like it's a bodysuit. And I'm like, are you performing? Did you perform the night before? Like, not night before, but like, are you the halftime show? Because if you're not, this outfit is not very like, what's the point of it? What's the point of, all right, she need a overhaul in the wardrobe department. As I sit here in a Reptar shirt. But like, yeah, I was just like, what is this outfit? But Tresh shows up. Sam ends up winning. Like, he knocked the dude out. I was trying to figure out, because I didn't know it was celebrity boxing, which I was like, he ain't nobody's celebrity. But I was trying to figure out who he was fighting, but I couldn't make out who the person was. But he KO'd, like, well, I don't think he didn't KO him, but like, he did knock him out and win. We saw Rich Dollars. Okay. And next thing you know, we flip back over to Florida, and they found the rings, which I was like, oh, praise the Lord. And you could tell the like sign of relief that washed over her body. Like, I feel like if she could cry of like joy, she would have, but she didn't want to mess up her makeup. And she felt so much better. Her mom was like, oh, praise the Lord. Bless the Lord. So her mom was happy. Okay, so it's time to get the show on the road. We can finally, after being like an hour and some change late, they can finally get married. Tahira made such a pretty bride. She looked beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. I started tearing up when she walked out of the room and like all her friends started crying. Like, like all of them, like, the one guy with the curly hair, he had to like dab his eyes, and they were like, all the other friends were like rubbing on him. Her mom was about to cry, and then when TT was like, y'all don't, because she was trying to hold it together, but she looked beautiful. She looked gorgeous walking down the aisle. Leif looked cute. But before they could get the ceremony underway, Leif was just not having it. Not having it. Even when she walked down the aisle, Brianna was like, oh my God. Like, she looked beautiful. She really did look beautiful. And even though she got married under that red tent, that ugly red tent, but she looked beautiful. Leif was just irritable. I don't know if it was nighttime. No, not nighttime. It was bedtime, or he needed to take a nap. But we then see Sean pick him up, and I feel like what TT said in her confessional was true. Like, it made it better. Like, they're a family now. Like, I mean, it's not like they weren't a family before, but like, to have this wedding, to have your husband hold your son and y'all hold hands and profess y'all love to each other in front of everyone, I just thought was beautiful. The words that Sean said were actually like, he winged it, and it was actually really nice. And her words were actually quite beautiful too. And I was like, okay. Like, there was a point to me where I didn't think they wanted to get married, or i.e. Sean, but I feel like in this moment it was real. And they looked so like, they looked happy. He looked happy. You could tell he was nervous. And when they kissed, I was like, good for y'all. Good for y'all. So the reception looked lit. It looked like a good time. We saw Tyran having to get that nose swabbed. Then we see Brianna talking to Chris, and she was thinking about like she might want to date Chris. And I said, girl, leave that man alone. But it looked like the reception looked like it was fun. We then see a scene of Tyran, JoJo, and Chris, who is TT's cousin, talk about wanting Pep in Egypt there. And I think what Sean said was right. He was like, they're all stubborn. TT stubborn, Egypt stubborn, Pep stubborn, Maureen is stubborn. They're all stubborn. And the only way we can make things work is if us as the men try to help. But like, they gonna do what they want to do, which is true. Which is quite true. But she looked like she had a wonderful time. We also see that JoJo has something set up for Tanise. And Tanise is like, you know, she wants to, after being at the wedding, she wants to fight for her marriage. She doesn't like the place that it's in, but seeing the love between Sean and TT made her realize how pivotal and how important it is for them to like work on their relationship. So I think next episode we'll probably see him do like a really special, beautiful thing for her. We then, the last scene of the night is Chris, the one that Brianna looking at, talk to what's her name, TT, and he was just like, I didn't want to come to the wedding because Pep isn't here, and it just didn't feel right, but I came because I love you, and I just want you to make it right, or I want y'all to make it right. Like, we're family, we got to get it together, and she should have been here. And my thing is like, y'all can't be like, why should she be there? If she want to spread lies about me, why should she be there? At the end of the day, was TT overbearing in her, like, when it came to Sam in Egypt? Yes, she really was. But I think that's because TT, being an older girl, understood that, like, this man trying to slither his way into your life, and he's no good. And you clearly see he's no good. Like, the man might get locked up. And it seems like he also has slowed down the momentum of where Egypt could be. So, yes, do I think she did a lot? She did. But I also think that what Egypt and Pep did was also a lot. Like, you said that she wanted to sleep with Sam, that she purposely walked naked in front of Sam, that she was jealous of Egypt and Sam's relationship, that she was jealous of Egypt. You also stated that, I think what really put like the nail in the coffin for them is that y'all had that candy corn headed auntie of y'all's bring herself on the internet just to say that, oh, Tahira's backyard ain't clean. We all know Sean been cheating on her, and like she needs to check herself and humble herself. And I feel like that made it worse because now you're bringing in your actual family. It's not just us beefing between each other. It's now you're making the family pick sides. And the aunt knew she was wrong because when Maureen called her earlier on in the season, she immediately hung up because she didn't want to face the consequences of her actions. So it is what it is. Hopefully they get back right on track, because if the rumors is true that Egypt is pregnant, she gonna need a friend. She done married the man, but if she pregnant, she need a friend. But yeah, y'all, that's it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic. Drop down in the comments below and tell me your thoughts. Should Pep have been to the wedding, or should she not? And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.